Reni Folawiyo is a Nigerian entrepreneur, fashion visionary, and founder of Alára. Born in London and raised in Nigeria, she studied law at the University of Warwick before returning to Nigeria.
I think when I got older, I started making things. I would just make things. I would see something and just make it. So I might see your shirt and just think I could tweak it a little bit and I'll just take a needle and thread and make it. I would make my own clothes right from beginning to end. And because I'd spent so much time with creative people, both the students, and I kind of felt that I had a life of creativity, even though it didn't really come to me properly until much later in my life.
Her passion for creativity and design eventually led her to launch Alára in 2015. Alára is a luxury fashion and lifestyle concept store located in Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. A bold architectural statement that has grown into one of Africa's most recognizable cultural institutions.
Alára it's kind of like the culmination of my own personal journey. And I say that because I had a strong desire to express myself in a way that I wanted to express myself. I had a strong love for the arts, and I had a lot of experience meeting people who were actually excellent in craft, in making things, in culture, in traditional arts. I had seen so much from my travels. After setting up the studio with the artists here, I started to travel within Africa to see what everybody was making. Because I was like, we make great stuff. How come I don't see it around? How come nobody is celebrating or talking about the fantastic things that are happening in our own world? So I realized that, nobody actually wants to elevate African craft. Nobody was thinking of it on the same level as anything else in the world. And I questioned that seriously. And then I realized that I had seen so much that I thought I should show people the abundance of creativity and excellence that we have on our continent. And I started to think about it a little bit more seriously. And then after a while, it became, I won't say just an urge, it became a very strong desire to prove people wrong. I started to imagine that it was something of a moment for self-determination, of self-elevation, to put us on a pedestal that I thought we deserved. So the anger in me and the frustration that had not been acknowledged by anyone over the years, that putting our work on a pedestal had not been shown in any way, it got me really emotional, and I pushed my everything into making sure I created something that would elevate and celebrate what I knew to be great.
Alára is also a space for high-profile special events. During Arise Fashion Week in 2018, a high-profile welcome party was held at Alára. The event welcomed international figures like supermodel Naomi Campbell and editor Edward Enfo, alongside Nigerian industry leaders. In 2018, Naomi Campbell hosted a book signing event for her book Art of Beauty at Alára. This brought together a high-profile cultural gathering that celebrated her book and connected fashion, art, and luxury communities. Beyond retail, Alára integrates as a restaurant, Knock by Alára, and a lounge space, creating a destination that blends food, culture, and community under one roof.
And then when I look at the landscape of creativity now, it's completely different from the landscape when we started Alára. I'm very proud that we've been able to influence an aesthetic. If you go to a young person's house, that person is very proud to have a beaded chair. That person is very proud to have, ashoke as their sofa. That person is very proud to wear certain things. It wasn't like that before. The way we have platformed it, the way we have expressed it, the way we have elevated it, make people aspire to want that lifestyle. That makes me very proud. And I see it a lot in the young generation. They are now expressing themselves in a way that they are proudly African. And I love that so much.
In 2023, Alara had a special pop-up retail and cultural installation at the Brooklyn Museum in New York as part of the museum's landmark exhibition, African Fashion. This collaboration marked Alara's first major US presence and brought African fashion, design, art, and cultural dialogue into the museum's broader narrative. Fast forward to 2025, Alara reached its 10-year milestone and celebrated with an event that brought long-standing members of the Alara community. Reni Folawiyo launched a book called A Decade of Alára. It was more than a book launch. The event unfolded through an intimate Q&A session with founder Reni Folawiyo and co-editor Farida Folawiyo.
I'm excited for the book. I feel like it really feels like a collectible, like a collector's item. It's something that my thing, I know you probably don't care about this as much because you keep going and you keep doing things. I feel like it was very important to archive Alara's influence on contemporary visual culture in Nigeria. I feel like Alara has influenced so much, especially the way that my mom brings things that like we've all seen before, we've all known, but haven't necessarily been introduced into contemporary design culture. So I'm thinking about the mats that are in Nok that like now you see everywhere, but I never used to see them in contemporary settings in that way. The chairs at Nok, the Yoruba chairs, which again, like everyone knows them, but I hadn't seen them introduced into contemporary spaces until Alara. And so for me, a lot of it was kind of like, I wanted people to understand the influence Alara has had on us, even though it might be subconscious. So, and I feel like the book really does that because it archives so many moments and there's just so many beautiful images. I don't know how many images are in that book, there are a lot. We discussed this at the beginning, like, do we want this to be a text-heavy book or an image-heavy book? And we went for image-heavy, and I'm really happy that we did that because it was really important.
Everything I do is around my family. They know everything. They dip in and out, even though they have their own businesses and have their own lives. I want a freedom around my children, just like I like freedom around people. I hope that people feel free around me and are free to be themselves. Whoever it is you want to be, I will support you. And that's what we have in our family. We had a lot of challenges with getting people to understand that the work of artists needs to be appreciated. And we were very strict about it and very strong about it. That took a while for people to understand. In fact, we went so far as to make sure that as you see a piece of work from a Nigerian artist, beside it we'll put some of the top designers in the world. And we'll dare anybody to tell us that one is better than the other. And we did it with a lot of pride. So getting people to understand that there was justification for that pride and that we would remain resolute in pushing that was difficult and time consuming. We always had to explain ourselves. Why is this? Why is this? Why is this? Why is this? So that was challenging. Making a good business out of a culture project was also challenging. Because no matter what, we still had to function as a business. And it just made us so much more creative and dynamic. One word I use for everybody that's worked in Alara is that we've always been agile. We change, because we know we have to make a success of this as a business as well. Everybody that has ever worked with me in Alara, no matter what the circumstances, no matter how they left or how we split up, I'm always grateful for that contribution. The machine that exists behind the scenes is major. What we have to do every day, what the people that you see moving around doing every day, is a lot of work. Battling with people thinking that we're just having fun, we like fashion, we just like to show. Battling with that when you have to create an engine room is always very difficult, and always fighting back and saying, you're proving yourself that this is a viable business. You know, this is a business that you should want your kids to be part of. and trying to convince people of that was challenging.
Reni Folawiyo is a cultural entrepreneur shaping the future of African fashion and luxury, turning Lagos into a destination for global style and design.
I thank the Arise team and Prince Nduka Obaigbana for giving me this honor. And I dedicate my honor to the dynamic, creative community that I serve, that I dedicated my life to. They have the power to change the course of our nation and that of the continent. I thank my dear husband, Tunde, who is here tonight, my children, my family, and my friends for the immense support that I've gotten the last 10 years. I appreciate you all. Thank you all and have a good evening.
Jennifer Olize, Arise News, Lagos.